LinkedIn is pretty amazing at helping you grow your small business. We cannot stop your new clients from emailing you at 3 a.m. We can help you sell, market, and hire in one place. We cannot help you be in 3 places at once. And while we can't help you organize your calendar, LinkedIn can help you land more clients so you have a calendar to organize. Grow your small business on LinkedIn. Learn more at linkedin.com/smallbusiness.
And action! Hello and welcome to episode 366 of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk
filmmaking,
from indie film to studio films and
high-end TV and everything in between.
How to get them made, how to make them,
yeah,
and how to try not to
royally F them up.
In our very, very humble opinion. I am Giles Alderson.
I'm Dom Lenoir.
We are both writers, directors and producers. But this is a special Friday episode, isn't it, Dom?
It is.
Because on Tuesday we had the director and writer Adam Siegel of Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose. And as mentioned on that episode, if you haven't listened to it yet, do go listen to it. It's fantastic. Adam was amazing. The co-producer of Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose, and also the publicist, Clare Bateman King. What a treat!
Yeah.
So what do we talk about with Clare Bateman King, Dom?
We talk about how often people underprepare their marketing effort on their films. As Clare does not underprepare her marketing effort, let me tell you.
No.
We also talk about why you need to put marketing into your budget, and why you should do your own press, PR, and maybe do your own premiere if the distributor will not.
Yes. We also talk about how she became a film producer, why she's setting up a distribution company, or planning to, and how do you keep good people in the industry if there isn't enough money. We go deep into this. This is a great episode for those thinking about how you're going to sell your film, market your film, PR your film. Clare is just the best at this. Not only has she worked with Phil Hawkins before, she was an actress in Four Warriors, Phil Hawkins' film, but she's an amazing, that aside, she's an amazing marketing and publicity person who runs Legion M, which Dom will tell you about in a minute. So she's worked on films like Mandy, Jay and Silent Bob. She's rebooted all those films, Creation Stories recently, and not only is she co-producer of Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose, but also associate producer on Chasing Amy, which is the documentary doing fantastic work around the festival circuit, directed by Sav Rogers. She's also just recently produced The Tower, which is Adam Siegel's next film, or one of them, and this is about a mysterious mermaid trapped and forgotten for years in the water tower of a small southern town, which stars Bella Thorne and Jack Kilmer. So that will be coming out in 2024 for you. Again, cinematographized, again DOP'd by Sarah Dean, who also did Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose, which is what we're here to talk about. Dom, tell people what the film is about. Tell people what Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose is about.
Well, it's about a talking mongoose. So it is about Simon Pegg, and Simon Pegg's character is a paranormal investigator with his fabulous assistant, advisor, played by Minnie Driver, and they go and investigate amazing occurrences such as a talking mongoose in the Isle of Man. Obviously there's shenanigans and trying to prove/disprove existence of said critter, with comedy and relationship drama along the way.
There you go. Brilliantly well said. We mentioned Legion M, of which she is a key player. Dom, do you want to tell people about Legion M?
Legion M basically partners with Hollywood and independent filmmakers and studios to create a whole bunch of movies, TV and digital content. And the thing that they do is disruptive crowdfunding as a big part of their business model. So it's a very unique take on the crowdfunding idea that really involves the fans and businessifies it.
Yes, and Claire is a big player, shall we say, in the Comic-Con world. And she did some amazing things with Star Wars back in the day. And she is, obviously Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose was at Comic-Con last year. It's just incredible what she manages to do. She's one of those wonderful people. I saw her in BAFTA the other day as I was editing said episode, and there she was, her voice in my ear, and I saw her face.
Apparition, if you will.
Yes, and I got to meet her lovely husband as well, which is cool. So, shall we get to the episode? It's only a short one. It's not a long one, but it's amazing advice for you. And then we'll talk about it at the other end. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Sit back, relax. This is Clare Bateman King talking all about PR, marketing, and producing Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose, which is out now on Prime. Everyone, if you've not watched it yet, go watch it.
So prime yourself.
Enjoy.
Claire has entered the building.
Just.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. This is fun.
I know.
I know.
Have you talked about the salubrious surroundings we're in? It's very glamorous.
Yeah, it's very glamorous.
Did we actually mention that? We did a few sort of court adjourned.
Yeah, we literally
jokes.
sat in a kind of courthouse, which is kind of funny, actually. Our first day of shooting was in a courthouse.
Was it in Harrogate?
Oh.
Yeah, we're actually in the courts. Now I think about it, strangely accurate.
That's amazing, because I'm from Harrogate, and you'd think that I'd have been in that courthouse loads.
He has.
Sadly, I hadn't. Though I remember getting, the police pulled me over at one point and they said, right, we need you for a lineup. And I'm like, I haven't done anything wrong. And I shit myself for about, 5 hours while I was waiting. And I went
they pick you?
They did pick me. Yeah. Do you know what was really weird? Because I didn't know what was going on. I just went, oh God, they think I've done something. And I stood in the lineup.
Oh my God.
He did do it.
And they pointed at me. The woman pointed at me. I thought, that's it now.
Jeez, that's it. Your life flashing in front of your
I honestly
eyes.
thought I was going to prison.
And they've just opened the courthouse jail today. And Giles has just been let out.
Yeah, got
So
let
the bar
out.
around the corner from us is a jail. We can just move you into there afterwards. It's all good.
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us and to chat about Nandor.
No problem.
How cool, right?
I really tried to bring the Nandor Fodor
Pin.
badge that you gave me, but
Yes.
I
you
was
got a
in
pin?
agony bending over trying to find it in the drawer of drawers, and
Yeah, I have my selection of Nandor pins I've been throwing at various people. The BAFTAs got well covered with Nandor pins. I was throwing them at people at the BAFTAs randomly. So we may be a small indie, but it doesn't mean you can't be creative with what you're trying to do to promote
Totally
stuff. So
agree.
literally various celebrities got pinned, which was quite fun.
metaphorically and otherwise.
I think you have to do anything you can with your film, right, to get people to notice it, whether it's a pin, whether it's a free mug or whatever it is, right?
Exactly. I mean, big up to Ali Plum, who kind of lost his pin right before he interviewed Simon Pegg for Mission Impossible. He was roaming around trying to find it. He was moving house at the time.
Yeah.
So, everyone was trying to find these things and they were tipping up all over the place, which was good. But yeah, we had a huge panel at San Diego Comic-Con last year for Nandor, which is really unusual for a film about a talking mongoose. But we were in the second biggest room there. It was 4,500 people. And then, we managed to trade off some things with sort of, people I know at Comic-Cons. I've worked in the Comic-Con circuit for a really, really long time. So we had a trade-off with some cosplayers to kind of walk around in 1930s gear, holding placards saying Jeff is real or Jeff is a hoax.
Love
And
it.
in exchange for their 6 hours of their time, I had got them a Comic-Con pass for 4 days. So our entire marketing campaign cost $80.
Because you are a marketing sort of guru / genius, and that ties into your Legion M. How did you? Because I think that's so important into why you're a good producer and why you get these films not only made but out there and onto people's eyes, into their ears. Like, how did you learn all this stuff? Like, what's your mini background?
I have been doing it a long time in lots of weird sort of ways, and it's only when you sort of look back on stuff you realize kind of where you've got some of these things from. So back in the early days of the internet, we were one of the first. 1999, we're talking here, really long time ago.
Still reading Beanos.
So a long time ago, me and some people had this website that was counting down to the launch of the new Star Wars movie. So we built this massive community online, which we eventually sold to kind of DreamWorks. I moved to LA because of it. I mean, it was absolutely huge, but it was just a bunch of people on the internet making a lot of noise. Now that's harder to do these days because everyone's on the internet making a lot of noise.
So are you just noisier?
Maybe we were just noisy at the time, and we were unusual. The world's first 24-hour internet broadcast was done by us on the street at Hollywood Boulevard. It was a cooking show that we did kind of overnight on the street, and it was the first 24-hour internet broadcast. Cables running along the street to the tourist shop next door. There was no Wi-Fi then; that didn't exist. It was all cable. So, I've been doing this a long time, and so you get to know a lot of people, and just sort of chief nerd. And again, I only realised recently I'm female chief nerd. I didn't realise until someone pointed it out a few years ago.
Nerdess.
Nerdess, queen of
maybe.
nerds.
Yeah.
Can't you just be chief nerd? I didn't realise it had to be gender specific.
But I think we could bring out nerdette and nerdess. Though
That's a good
You
t-shirt.
could slogan it.
I nearly wore my t-shirt this evening. I've got a t-shirt. I've actually got my Jeff t-shirt today. But I do actually have one.
Is he in a cafe? Is that?
Yeah. No, he's just he is. He's in a diner.
Lovely. He's got a cheeky grin on his face, but wicked.
I did actually I've got a t-shirt at home that says Geeks versus Everybody, which is kind of about right, really.
Yeah, it's about right.
But it's about taking the time. I mean, I get frustrated with some sort of distribution things where, unlike I understand, they churn out product and things go out quickly. You haven't got time to be creative. But for me, that's the most interesting part of it. I was saying before that sat outside, that I can send you some pictures, but there's a 1930s Isle of Man newspaper that I made as a promotional thing for the LA premiere for this, which was literally me sat in my pajamas with 3 hours on the internet, pulling 1930s newspaper ads, writing articles. The whole thing to print cost me like $250.
Wow.
But then the studio was like...
Effect on the movie, priceless.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's a cute little keep. People tweet about it, talk about it. It's those little things. Look, you're not going to suddenly turn a small independent movie into the Avengers, right? No. That takes more than a bit of that's a lightning in a bottle situation, right?
You've got to do something.
It's making something stand out. We've all had the situation where, especially with streaming now and the growth of it, and I understand the growth of it, that you'll tune in and you'll see a movie that's got, Tom Hanks or something. You go, I've never heard of this.
Yeah.
What kind of world is that now where you have films that big?
Yes.
And you don't know about it. That kind of confuses me immensely. But it's just the way it is now. And it's trying to just stick your head above the parapet.
I think it troubles me that, especially with a load of indie films, companies just think, oh, well, it's an indie film, so we'll just put it into the system. We'll just chuck it out. Yeah. We won't really think of anything special because we can't afford to. I would say you can't afford not to.
It just disappears. You're almost kind of wasting your money to a certain extent. Yeah. And I understand they do buy it and they put it on, it takes up the airtime and that's fine. But there are some films, not all of them, but there are some where you can take a nugget out and kind of go, okay, this is a 3 million film. We can just put it up online and we can do this, whatever with it. Or we might be able to turn it into a 10 million film. We might actually be able to make money off it. And again, we're not turning out like, oh, give me your tiny, your Blair Witch was the one back in my day in 99, your very small budget and turn it into 100 million blockbuster. You can't look at that as a goal that you're going to be chasing your tail. But the goal to kind of flip your profit, that is achievable by getting people sort of behind it, being a little bit clever, targeting the right people, going out to the Comic-Cons. I try and cast movies now, and we're looking at a few more at the moment. I try and cast them with people who are active within the Comic-Con circuit, because then they will go out paid for by the Comic-Cons to promote your film. Oh, you're doing signings for a weekend, so they're doing their own thing, they're making their money, but they're doing a panel. Could you mention us at the panel and talk about it at the panel? You've got a free tour.
Yes.
Now, an indie movie can't afford to take big celebs on tour.
No.
So it's a cheat. But it's backwards casting to a certain extent. You try every trick in the book, really, with those kind of things to try and make people kind of, talk about it in one way, shape or form. And I said, it just elevates you that tiny little bit. I had a lot of people to go, oh, that's that Mongoose movie, right?
Yes, because they'd heard of it, because you'd put the work in and
they'd heard about it. They didn't know that, but I've heard of this. And that's your first step. I mean, you can't do you could have made the most incredible bit of genius, but if nobody's even heard of it, you're dead in the water. So if you can just get a little bit of interest to get people to dig that little bit further, well, then that's on them. But you've just got to just wave it in front of their faces a little bit.
And with the Comic-Con thing then, I take it this film is going to be there this time as well, coming up?
Well, no, because
Claire's
it will
be there.
I'll be there. I'm always there. I think I'm
because you can't have any
Comic-Con.
actors at the moment,
That's
right?
the problem. That has really, obviously that's truncated like nearly all the indies. That's the real problem. I mean, we just did a big premiere in LA and we have a small, sort of event tonight. We've done it without the studios. In both cases for these, we've self-funded it with people because we wanted to do it. We wanted to do it for the crew. The premiere in LA was big. We had 450 people at the Chinese Theatre.
Wow.
So we still made some noise, but we kind of literally self-funded it through a sponsor and kind of, private investors and things like that. So there's ways to do it. And I'm not going to lie, the effort is extra. It's not easy work.
Well, we saw you when we arrived. Yeah. Literally putting up things,
building a step and repeat.
Step and repeat.
Yeah, so, you have to just get stuck in. And if you do have a bunch of people who won't do that, that's going to be hard work. But generally, if you can find them, making your entire crew feel kind of like this film is really worth something to them. Yeah. Everybody piles in.
I feel like some films that don't even do like the premiere and then take the pictures and organise like a decent venue. It's like it costs so little compared to the budget of the movie.
We're not talking Leicester Square and lights and stuff like here. I mean, you can do it very cheaply and still get the photographs. Because in the end, as far as the press is concerned, you're after the photographs on the front of the Evening Standard. You don't need to shut down Leicester Square for that.
Yeah,
very true.
You don't have to.
You can. Yeah. I mean, you have to do Transformers with like a giant transformer in the middle, but you can still pay a couple of grand and get it shown there.
Exactly. You don't need to do the giant builds. You just need a step and repeat, a pot plant, and away you go. And if you get a Getty photographer there, it'll make it onto the wires. If you have cast that will do that, step and repeat's a few £100.
Yeah, and that is so important as filmmakers. They seem to forget that. They also think distributors or sales or studio, if they have got one behind them, will do it. And you just proved that actually most of the time they might. Yeah. But if you
can't
don't
rely on them.
That's it.
I think that's becoming for indies. It's more and more the case as well. That and that's it's not a criticism really. They look at where the best they can allocate their money, and that's fine. And while it's frustrating, they wouldn't perhaps do something. Well, we've just done it ourselves. So you don't always allow. What I'm starting to do is a little bit unorthodox. Let's see how we go with it. We've got a couple of projects on the fly at the moment where we're literally baking in a marketing budget to the budget at the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, if we don't use it, if a studio buy it and they just go, yes, we'll take this off you and we're going to do £1 million, well, fine, off you go. Lovely. We've got more money to quickly get back to investors. But we're putting in a solid chunk of money at the beginning. So if they don't step up, I've got a budget to do something.
So on £1 million budget, how much do you think should go on to marketing?
This one is 4 million. We've probably spent about 30
million.
I would. Could you imagine? We spent about 30 grand.
30 grand. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Probably less than that. Well, probably maybe a little less, I think. Maybe about 25, actually, probably more like 25.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
To be fair, on a 4 million, I thought, because we spent about that on 3 day.
Just on my lunch bill.
And just on Tom's lunch.
And we did Comic-Con, and bear in mind that's including hotel rooms at Comic-Con, which are hell on wheels. Yeah. So that's a lot of money as well. Then the LA premiere was a pretty solid chunk. Yes. And then obviously the little bits and pieces for here and stuff. But
so how did you forge this one in terms of the investment? Like, what time did you get involved? Was it entirely through the sort of Legion M kind of crowdfunding model?
No, it was the other way around. I actually brought Legion M onto this one. This was my project first. It was one of those slightly serendipitous sort of things. I came onto it sort of fairly late. When I was in 2019, I was on set with Kevin Smith for Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. We're over in New Orleans. And there was a fellow UK producer who was on set that I, at that time, was an aspiring producer. I have been working in film for 30 years, give or take, in various forms, but not actually got around to actually producing a film. So everyone on set was going, there's another Brit here. You've got to meet him. You've got to meet him. So eventually we did. So I think you might know Dominic Burns.
Yeah,
Dominic Burns.
Another great Dominic.
Another great Dominic.
Yeah, we produced this movie as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So we hit it off, and he says, and eventually we were chatting. We had loads of friends in common, etc. He was like, you know what? It's just stupid to me that you've not produced a movie. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. You produce $1 million events. I don't get it. Yeah. And I said, yeah, no, I've just been so busy. I've never really actively pushed that way. And he went, yeah, well, that's stupid. He says, well, next time I'm doing a movie, you're going to come do it with me.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So then the pandemic hit, obviously.
Tough on the mongoose population.
Tough on the mongoose population, Brad. Tough on all the population. So then we got to, I think it was February 21. I was literally on the ramp walking down to plane, go to LA. Dom texted me, and it was the script. And he said, read this now. That was it. I'm like, ooh, sounds urgent.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, he's true to his word.
So getting on the plane now, I'll read it on the plane. So I read it on the plane. I'm like, and straight I was like, oh, I like this. This is great. Yeah. Straight away I was like, this is great. So I read it. So about 2 hours in, I texted him back and I'm like, this is great. Are you doing this project? And he went, you like it? I said, yeah. And he goes, great. So you're doing it now as well. I'm like, oh, wait, what? And he said, and here's the other bit. Simon Pegg signed on.
Ooh.
So that's where it was at that time. I'm like, whoa, my God.
Wow.
Right. So then I, of course, still on the plane, text all the Legion M guys as well. I'm like, this is cool. And Simon Pegg's on it. You might want to take a look.
Yeah.
And then I was arranging with Adam. I'd not met him, didn't know Adam at all, to meet him the next morning in Los Angeles. So all these bits, by the time I'd landed, I was meeting Adam like hours later. Legion M were basically almost on board.
Because you were like, they're on board.
With the last bit
work slowly.
With a final bit of financing, because it still wasn't fully financed. So they came in with a bit of financing.
Oh, wow.
Then coming on board helped someone else come on board because of the marketing and stuff that kind of went with that. And then, I met Adam for lunch the next morning. I met him for brunch at 11 o'clock. We parted about 2:00 and then went out again in the evening because I was out with Kevin Smith and he's like, I want to meet Kevin Smith. So we went out again.
Perfect.
So we had a whole, and I trained Kevin very, very well, who I've known for many years, because I'd sort of texted him in advance saying, I'm going to introduce you to a guy called Adam. He's directing a Simon Pegg movie. I really want to be part of this one. So put in a good word.
Be cool.
Be cool,
Kevin.
So, and of course, Kevin just went straight and go, oh, hello. Yeah, Claire mentioned you. You should hire her. She's fabulous.
Hey.
I was like, nicely done, Kevin. And yeah, Adam was like, this is what I keep hearing. So I think probably I will. So I'm like, yay. Hey. So yeah, and then we started filming in May.
And that's amazing. And so technically this is your amazing.
Yeah.
So technically this is your first feature coming out the gate. Now.
It is, which is a nice one to start with.
Great one.
And then Adam and I have just done Tower in Arkansas as well with Bella Thorne and Jack Kilmer. So we just wrapped that in July.
Yeah. Great people with great profiles as well.
Yes. So that, and again, very small budget, but really interesting script. And sort of, so, we'll see how that one sort of all pieces together. And then I'm currently racing around, or have been racing around London Film Festival with the documentary Chasing Amy, which is again Kevin Smith adjacent, which is just
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy. We're killing it at the festivals because it's been at Tribeca. London Film, it's beautiful.
It's been killing it. I can't wait to see that. That looks so good.
So nice. So that's been a joy. So we're looking at releasing that next year in cinemas, because we've got a lot of people contacting about that. And myself and another couple of producers were looking at setting up a production and distribution company and start with that one because of our aforementioned frustration with the lack of creativity and distribution.
Yeah, or lack of effort sometimes.
Yeah, the amount of people who are just kind of like, you should just do it yourself. I'm like, maybe I should.
I mean,
maybe I will.
It's not a bad thing, because actually there's a pocket, and actually if you've got your own movie and you've got your own company, it's kind of what the studios do. So you kind of go, why are we going to the middlemen who are going to take all the money from the filmmakers?
Exactly.
Why don't we do this ourselves?
That's the idea.
I've done it on one film, and I probably it's just a lot of work when I've got other stuff to do, but if there's a team around you doing it makes total sense.
And one of my dreams is to, at one point, I have a friend of mine doing this, is to actually kind of own a cinema. So I figured at the end I might be able to finance a movie, make a movie, PR it, marketing it, distribute it, and exhibit it. I might have the full.
Wow. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yes,
That's really weird, actually.
I mean, Tarantino's done it.
Exactly. Tarantino and me, why not? I'm totally in the same league.
Totally same league. What have you learnt then from producing a movie? What's the big takeaway that you didn't think was going to be as hard as it was?
I think there's a lot that's hard. You don't like to diss the egos. You got to watch it. I'm old and I'm cranky and I'm British, right? Yeah. I have a very strict. No arsehole policy.
Great,
good,
good,
fantastic.
And it's been fine, but it does get tested with some
arseholes
things, which I found interesting across the process, which I haven't in years of doing literally multi-million-dollar events, haven't really hit on it before. And it's just watching the kind of playground push and pull of some things, and I'm like, okay, interesting. So I've got to learn to ignore it, I suppose, in some ways. And also, this is a hard one because this could work for or against you. Almost not get too personally involved in some of these films, because if it's your baby, Now, I don't write it, I don't direct it. You've got to be quite structurally I will always look at a project from the top down. Yeah, that's brilliant. How do we sell it?
Yes.
And I'm very big on how am I going to get the investors their money back? This is art, but no one's going to watch it. Well, okay, I probably won't touch too much of that. I'm looking at quite commercial things like I want to be able to have my investors go, this is amazing. What are you doing next?
Exactly.
I will always come at it that way, as in I need the box to put that in because studios need a box.
Yeah.
They need, so I found that interesting that apparently not many people do it that way, that not many producers do the end of the movie. They all do the front, but they don't, I finished it. What the hell do we do now?
Very rare.
Yeah. They just give it over to a sales agent distributor.
Yeah, and just hope that they do what they like with it.
Then you spend like 2 years chasing them.
Yeah. So
are you selling the film? Are you selling the film?
Yeah.
Are they?
And as I know, and obviously there's a big debate at the moment about how producers get paid or not.
Yes.
And that is also very challenging. And it's interesting. We're looking at trying to change that with our sort of productions. We're like, okay, you get 20. It's not fair that you work 2 years on a film and you're the first ones to defer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you should be so how do you keep good people in the industry that way?
Yeah. Well, this is why there's a big problem and a big hole right now in the industry where everyone's screaming out for producers, and producers are going, well, I can't do this anymore. I've got a family to keep
exactly.
up with.
I might be horribly naive naive or I don't know, but I'm looking at this going, there has to be a different way to doing it. So I'm kind of looking at, okay, well, every producer that we do stuff with, you'll get 25% up front. You'll be paid as crew throughout on a weekly salary as crew. And then the rest goes at the end. And that's the bit that might get deferred, but you still have a payment for work that you've done. Perfect. Because how do you keep people engaged? I'm seeing a lot. How do you keep people engaged if they're pissed off half the time?
Because they can't, because they haven't got the money. They're literally frustrated.
Yes.
Someone's pissing them off and they've got to deal with that.
And it's, again, coming in as an outside looking going, this works weirdly.
Yeah.
There has to be a slightly better way to do this. I've never seen an industry, so I might be horribly naive, but let's see how we go. But it's been a fascinating ride so far. And what a film to start with. Been very lucky.
What a film to start with. Nandor and a Mongoose. But thank you for joining us for this.
You're very welcome.
This has been a really lovely little...
It has been a real treat.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, guys. After the amazing people you speak to, I'm honoured to join the list.
Another one here.
Yay.
Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose is out
now.
November the 8th. They moved it last night.
Ooh,
we only got told last night it's moved. It's because it's moving out to November the 8th.
Okay. Who's distributing it?
It is Signature here.
It is,
and then it's on Amazon Prime though. Is where you'll be able to find it.
That's where people can find it. Link to that will be in the show notes because I'll have it by then.
Yes.
And this film, go watch it. I can't wait to see it. I'm seeing it tonight for the first time. Now I'm literally about to walk into
me
the
running it
room.
off my laptop, hopefully without pop-ups.
Yes.
Oh it's going to be a very stressful screening for me, guys. Talking about doing it the indie way, it's running off my computer.
DCP.
Yeah, because we had to change the back end of the DCP, and we don't have a new DCP for the European version, so we've had to run. We've literally only got it on this version, so
mistakes.
I'll be sweating away in the process. Let's hope I don't get random emails or something that pop up. On my screen.
Worse.
Oh my god,
spam emails.
Yeah.
There you go. Indie filmmaking, yay!
Yeah, exactly. Bye.
Bye.
So there we have it. There we are. That was Clare Bateman King. How amazing was that?
Oh, what a treat. What a treat.
Absolute treat, ladies and gentlemen. What do we feel then about marketing and PR? It's one of the things that when filmmakers start out trying to make their films, especially when you're beginning as a filmmaker, you go, oh, well, don't worry, the distributors will do that. We'll do that later. But actually, it's one of the most important things because if people don't know about it, how are they going to watch it?
Yeah, well, I think it's also where you spend your money is quite important. You know, I was discussing with someone recently about cinema runs, and they were looking at spending like loads of money on the premiere, but then not a very big premiere sort of premises, and I was kind of thinking about it, like, well, you're spending all this money on PR and whatever, and you're doing the photos, and the photos are nice, but actually you've only got like a very small number of people in a small cinema. Whereas, I would always say go for a bigger screen, more people talking about it, more people can spread the word. Sometimes you've got to really think, especially on indie budgets, like how far you can push those budgets. I suppose I'm looking more at the lower end of the budgets in the indie world. But you got to think, you can actually get quite a lot for your money if you're smart with it, and you can get quite a few cinemas, and you can get a good press outreach, and you can target certain areas. You just got to be smart about it and put the effort in. That's the key takeaway from Clare, is put the effort in and don't just come up with a half-assed generic let's just chuck the movie out there approach that a lot of sales agents and distributors do tend to do on titles with their sort of smaller titles, because they just think, oh well, it's going to do what it's going to do. I mean, you see like Hunger Games, and they're doing, they've got a whole fully enclosed tube on the London Underground, like a mural. I mean, if you think about the footfall that's going to get, and I'm not saying you should do that for your film, because it's probably way beyond any marketing spend that you could have, but it's that outside the box thinking that you need to have. Like, what can I do that's going to get a lot of people's attention on this, that's going to stand out and get them watching it?
Yeah, it's so difficult. Like I say, sales and distributors, they've got their plans, they've got their spend for the year, and even though you do have a marketing cap and a budget with the distributors, that doesn't mean they're going to spend that money on your film. Particularly, it depends how well it does, it depends how what's happening with it in the festivals, if it's getting the right kind of buzz. But if it's not, if you were a distributor or a sales agent, or in this case distributor, would you be spending lots of money on a film that probably won't get a return? And you've got to think of it that way, and then you go, okay, well, what can I do then? what can I be doing to make a splash? And obviously social media, you've got to be setting that up. You've got to have a presence online, with the website, just to guide people somewhere. But this is your film. And as much as it's in the hands of other people right now, if you don't push it forward, no one else is. If you're not the one banging down the doors of the cinemas and putting it out on your socials and getting your friends to tell your friends, no one's going to hear of it. It's just the sad truth. Getting on podcasts, it's so true. This is why we support as many indie films as we can on this podcast, because we want them to have a voice. And obviously it's just a small footfall from our side, but like I say, if there is indie films from this podcast, do go support them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if someone's come on and talk to you, go watch their films and support, because you want them to do it to yours when yours comes out. So you do have to think outside the box, as Dom said. There's so many things you can do. There's so much advice now online for this, or podcasts like this. But you do have to do it.
Not podcasts like this one.
No,
don't go anywhere else.
Just
How dare you?
Yeah, that's true. But it is vital that you do that and think about it from the very beginning. Who is the audience for this? And that's that's really interesting about Facebook. And people
obviously it's the Mongoose community.
Yes, the Mongoose community for a film like this, but it's also people who like those quirky kind of Poirot wacky type films like that who would love this. And it's the same for any film. So from the beginning, you have to be thinking about who is the target audience for this film. Claire knew that with Simon Pegg, she could get, Comic-Con. People would be very interested here. If you haven't got a Simon Pegg, how do you do it? How do you break through?
You don't.
No, you do. You've just got to think about how to do it.
Yeah. You struggle.
Well, look, Barbie's a very different case because they had so much money, but they were very clever with their marketing. I'm not saying you can do that, of course, as indie filmmakers, but oh my God, just look at how they did that. That was super clever. You really, really got into everyone's eyeballs.
I mean, I don't want to sort of jump on the back and claim that this is clever, but while we're on the topic of stuffed animals that are in films, for When the Screaming Starts with Conor Buru directed, which I helped produce.
Yes.
We took Richard the cat, which is a stuffed cat that had actually quite a minor role in the film, but was a very well-made, fake cat created in Siberia somewhere. We took him in his tuxedo someone put him in a tuxedo for the premiere, and immediately I saw that and I was like, right, that's the unique marketing thing for the cat. And Richard has now been on many international adventures. He's been to Poland, he's been to Cannes, and actually it always grabs people's attention because they're like, oh, there's a stuffed cat. What's he doing?
Yes.
Obviously he's being a stuffed cat, but it makes great press pictures. It stands out. It suddenly makes people turn their head where they wouldn't necessarily. So I hope Claire has a mongoose that they can take along to.
Yes, I'm sure she does. Well, Neil Gaiman's doing the voice for it. I don't know if he's.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, take Neil along.
You can afford him.
Dress Neil up in a giant mongoose suit. That'll turn some heads.
But Dom's absolutely right, and that so worked for When the Screaming Starts, because it was a talking point at Fright Fest. There it was, so people would come and go, "What's that about?" It just sets you apart. Even the small things like that. But as an idiot, and you might feel silly doing it sometimes, but actually, no one cares. It's like, be an idiot. Do something to get your film noticed. It's really important. Like I say, we could go into so much detail about how to do this, but you've got to think for yourself as well. We just did some detail, but you can think for yourself and think how you can get your film. And what is it? Is it World War II film? Okay, then target that audience. Is it
not like they would in World War II though?
No, but target the audience.
Yeah.
But targeting those of people who like those films. Is it is it murder mystery? Okay, target the people who go to murder mysteries. It's the little things like that. And as much as people do poo-poo Facebook, actually Facebook is amazing at targeting the right audience. If you notice on your feed, you sometimes get annoying ads, but most of the time you get ads that are tailored to you. And for very little money,
Does that mean you're annoying by default?
Yes, massively. And I don't work for Facebook in any way, but actually it really worked for 3 Day Millionaire because we were targeting, Grimsby, people from Grimsby, people who like comedy, people who liked Jonas Armstrong or Colin Meaney. Do you know what I mean? We were like, okay, how do we do this? And therefore, people on their Facebook profiles, they put in what films they like, what music they like. So because we had the Waterboys in our soundtrack for 3 Day Millionaire, we could then target that on Facebook and really be very specific about the numbers. So if people clicked on it, they were actually interested in watching it. So we weren't just throwing money down the drain to go and blanket email marketing. It was very tailored. And we had someone doing that for us, which, didn't cost us too much money. And you can do that too.
Unlike my food bill.
Unlike Dom's food bill, which did cost me a lot of money, as it turns out. He likes to eat well. As much as Dom is amazing, you want to take him on tour with you. Just be aware that you might be better off taking Richard the cat instead. But also about the poster. What does it look like? What's on it? Who are your front runners? And that's why you've got to be friends with your cast and crew. Hopefully they will push it. They're your champions as well. It's very important. And if you did a crowdfunder, oh my god, they're your champions. Make sure they're part of your team when putting your film out as well. All right, there we go. Wasn't Clare Bateman King amazing? I'll put her links to all her bits and pieces, or links to all her social handles. Follow her, tell her how amazing she is for doing this, for chatting to us and you, and giving you knowledge about getting your film released. So Tuesday, Dom, who do we have? Very exciting.
Oh, we've got a killer episode ahead of us.
Ooh, is it The Killer by chance?
It might be. It might be.
Is it David Fincher's The Killer?
It might well be, yeah.
So is it David Fincher's The Killer?
It is, yes.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah. So the first one, I'll give you a hint. Who is?
Is it Eric Messerschmidt?
Yes.
The cinematographer of The Killer. David Fincher's
it might be,
The
yes.
Killer.
Yeah. I didn't want to do a Messerschmidt joke, on the episode, but I feel like it would be remiss of me not to at least do some kind of reference to the iconic plane.
I'm sure he's never heard it before with the cinema.
No, probably not. No.
He's a fantastic cinematographer. Interestingly, his first movie was Mank that he DOP'd. Obviously, lots of telly before that. And now he's back with David Fincher for a second round of many, many takes on the films with Michael Fassbender's The Killer. Dom, it sounds like there might be more than just Eric Messerschmidt.
Yeah, we have got Kirk Baxter, the fantastic editor. And we've also got Ren Kleiss, the sound designer. And it's quite interesting because all of these wonderful people. First of all, it's actually a good example of, I don't want to say working your way up on big films, but it's working your way sideways, because we've had people that have started collaborating, like, out of these three guests, like a couple of them started working in different roles or in minor roles with him, and then were actually offered the sort of the lead position on new projects. I mean, that might have been due to availability, or just David seeing something that was ideal and thought, okay, I'll give them a shot at this role. And they've been sort of long-term collaborators in some capacity. So it's great sort of hearing those different insights and how he works.
It's going to be a beautiful episode. That will be for you next Tuesday. So have a great weekend, everyone. If you haven't listened to Adam Siegel's episode, the director and writer of Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose, which is out now on Prime, then do go listen to that. Link to that will be in the show notes. It's brilliant. He's ace. Right. So next Tuesday, The Killer. Until then, take care. Go make your movies. Make it happen. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Dom.
Bye, Charles.
Bye.